A vocational expert can show how your service-connected disabilities affect your ability to function in a normal employment situation. If a disabled veteran meets the requirements for TDIU, they can receive a 100% VA rating, even if their scheduler rating is below 100%. If they can demonstrate that one or more of their service-connected disabilities prevent them from maintaining substantially gainful employment. That is the keyword focus of today, folks. Substantial gainful employment is defined by the U.S. Department of Commerce, and it's the poverty threshold of a single individual living in the United States. So there's two ways you could get TDIU. The first one is called scheduler TDIU, and it's covered under 4.16a of the Code of Federal Regulations here. And here's the situation. This is the most common one. The applicant has one service-connected disability rated at 60% or higher, or the applicant has two or more service-connected disabilities rated with a combined rating of 70% or higher. One of those needs to at least be 40. So this is what we call the 60-40-70 rule, or that's what I call it. So that's the first way. That's scheduler TDIU. The second way is extra scheduler TDIU, and that's covered under 4.16b. And the Department of Veterans Affairs has established a policy that all veterans who are unable to secure and maintain a gainful occupation because of their service-connected disabilities shall be rated as totally disabled, 100% scheduler or extra scheduler. So two different ways to do it, and this is something that you want to work into your strategy. If you're at one of the higher ratings, or any rating for that matter, and you can't get the needle to move on the combined ratings table, if you're not able to work, you may want to duck out and go with a TDIU claim. So here's the requirements. You either meet them or you don't, but under both of these laws, 4.16a and 4.16b, you'll fit in if you have at least one thing that's service-connected. Even if it's at 0% service-connected, you still qualify. So here's a couple common questions. What's the difference between unemployed and unemployable? They're not synonymous for the purpose of a TDIU rating. So you may be unemployed, but you still may be able to work. You may be unemployed because you're unable to work. Your situation is going to, the way you tell your story, obviously it's going to change. If you're, recently got fired, you're gonna yourself be more on the, hey, I can't work, it's because of service, I should be on TDIU. But that's not going to be the same story if you're still working and you're considering TDIU. So it's a little tricky explaining it, and this is why a vocational expert is a good solution. They can come in here and they can explain your work history, your current employment status, even if you are working. They can explain how you're barely hanging on. They can talk about your education level and why your service-connected disabilities are the cause of your unemployment situation. So obviously, a disability doesn't necessarily prevent a person from securing or pursuing substantial gainful employment. And you can have, something that's service-connected and then something else, another disability that's not related to service at all, that's dragging you down, or vice versa. So it's a different scenario. This isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of a situation. So you have your medical evidence. If you're thinking about going for a higher VA disability rating and you're thinking TDIU might be a good fit for you, a vocational expert is somebody that you can bring in, you hire them, and they can help you win your claim. I'm going to show you an example here in a minute of exactly how a vocational expert can help you. Also, stay tuned because I'm going to have a vocational expert on here and doing a couple videos and breaking it down Barney style for you guys over the next couple weeks. So if you like this kind of content and you like TDIU, VA claims, consider hitting that subscribe button. Helps the channel out and keeps me going for sure. So different types of reasons why you may be unable to have a job, maintain a job, maybe got fired, maybe you're about to get fired, maybe you're just over it, whatever it is. The term substantially gainful employment is where the average person, is able to make a living wage. So if you're underneath making a living wage, doing part-time work, you're in a protected work environment, sheltered work environment, look into TDIU, understand these terms the best you can, and they are a little bit tricky. So again, a doctor isn't really able to go into defining a sheltered work environment. It's up to you to do it. Get a vocational expert. They can explain it because that's what they do for a living. They're in the vocational field. They know all the vocations. They have the labor codes and all the laws, and they'll write you up a nice, sweet report. And the cool part about that is the VA can't argue it. I mean, they can't argue it with a professional. So when you file a VA claim, you submit your medical evidence, or you didn't know you can, and you just go in there and get your ass kicked by a C&P examiner. That's who they put up against you, a C&P exam doctor. In the case of a vocational expert, there's nobody they could put up against you. So it's an advantage, and I strongly suggest you take a look at getting a vocational expert involved. So VA form 218940. That's the TDIU form. And this will pop up in your claim. And you may be like, well, I have a job, so I don't need to fill this part out. On the 526 EZ, there's other places that it pops up. They may, be developing your claim and like, oops, we should have presented 8940 to the veteran. They may do it in the middle of your claim. It could show up in a variety of different areas, but basically you fill out the 218940, and that means by doing that, you understand that you are going after unemployability. Whatever your rating is, you're just going to go for 100%, and you understand you can't work, period. That's the whole point of TDIU. Get a little coffee here. So the 8940, a lot of ways to fill that out. I would not just go blowing through it when you're in the middle of filing a claim, especially if you're, like a mental health claim at 70%, it'll show up there. Any disability over 60%, it'll probably show up there. It's a little different. Obviously, all claims are different depending on if the VA's shitty website's working or not, or they missed it or something like that. So pay attention for this, and do not just leap in and fill it out. You can leave that part out right now, and you could get back pay for that as well. Go in and thoroughly research the vocational expert and see if it's a good fit for you. And if you decide it's not, then fill it out and take your chances and spray and pray and hope for the best. Yeehaw! All right, here's a couple things that the VA cannot take into consideration when filing your TDIU claim. They cannot take your age into consideration. There's considerable conversation about this since I've been talking a lot and learning about VA claims over the past couple of years. Just because a veteran is 91 years old, it doesn't matter if he stopped working when he was 65. If he's 91 and his service-connected disabilities prevent him from working, he could file a TDIU claim. So if you're at that retirement age, it doesn't matter. Well, this is a no-brainer. I'm 72. I retired 5 years ago. They cannot use your age against you. There's talk about this changing, but it's just talk. So that's the law right now. So they can't use your age against you. They also can't use any disabilities that are not service connected. So if you have like migraines and back problems and, a bunch of stuff and you're at 80% service connected, And then you have other conditions. Like I have neck and back problems that are not service connected because they were caused after I got out of the service. You just leave those out of the story. They can't use those things against you. Very important to understand that. And continuing down that road, they can't use any injury. So if you got in a car accident, 10 years ago, you got out of the service 30 years ago, they can't use that against you either. If you voluntarily remove yourself from the workforce, they can't use that against you. The availability of work in your area, they can't use that against you. Oh, you're able to work. You could go get a job at McDonald's. I'm sure they say it, but they're not supposed to. So let's talk about a vocational expert. And before I go into that, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Helen Ponton. If you need help with a TDIU claim, they may be able to help you. Also, if you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my boot camp at combatcraig.com, where I break it down Barney style for you guys. Check it out, and I'm seeing that my overlay is a little goofed up, but we're rolling with this video anyway. All right, so a vocational expert can show how your service-connected disabilities affect your ability to function in a normal employment situation. So when you're talking about law, there's a definition for stuff. This is such a novel concept. Like, no shit, right? Like, I can't work because I'm all fucked up, and I can't work in any normal environment. They have the expertise to explain what normal means, what the normal person with no disabilities has to go through to get up in the morning, road rage his way through work, get into the water cooler conversation and watch everybody dicking around for the first hour and a half of doing nothing, and lunch and commuting home, and I got to do stuff on the weekends because I have a 9 to 5, whatever it is. They're able to speak to all those things. So that's one way they can help you. They are more likely to possess industry knowledge and expertise in the entire job market. So you may have an explanation for your particular truck driver job or lawyer job or whatever you do. And you understand it because you've been in the industry. The expert can expand on that, and then because a TDIU claim removes you from the entire workforce. So regardless of your education level and all that kind of stuff, there's not a job out there this guy can do. I'm telling you, vocational experts are money. A vocational expert understands how your service-connected disabilities relate to specific occupations, right? They can help you determine, or help the VA determine, if it's severe enough to get VA and TDIU benefits. So first, you would talk to him to help you determine it, and then if you decide to move forward, he will help the VA see it. A vocational expert can create a residual capacity assessment, and it details, what job functions you're able to do and what you're not able to do. It's called a vocational assessment is what that amounts to. And they use these in almost every industry. It's just, VA just hiding stuff from us. Social Security disability, ERISA claims, workers' comp claims, personal injury claims. A vocational expert is involved in every single one of those. But with the VA in this veteran-friendly, not-so-friendly environment, they invite us in and we fill out the stuff. And a lot of people do have plenty of evidence in their file to support why they should be on TDIU. I like going over the below minimum requirement. And if you have all that stuff in there, then that's going to make it that much easier for the TDIU or for the vocational expert to write up the report. So here's an example of a case where a veteran won her claim at the higher court. I have the citation number here, 210-48012. My old eyes can't read. You can look that up. You can just Google this URL. I know you can't copy and paste it, but you could just type this citation number in and go look at this one. Basically, the veteran provided a vocational expert when she filed her claim. And the vocational expert did a vocational assessment on her and said, in addition to part-time sedentary work, she's only doing part-time, not full-time. She works below the poverty line. That's one of the markers we just discussed. As a result of her pain, the vocational expert noted that she's unable to work more than 5 hours per day. She has increased pain with prolonged activities, has a lot of pain by the end of a 5-hour day. So this is something that you can explain this in your own words, but you're not an expert.